The deep space exploration vessel Magellan drifted silently through the debris field that had once been the Centauri colony of Hope's Landing. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the bridge's main viewport, her weathered face reflecting in the reinforced glass as she studied the wreckage before her. 20 years of space exploration hadn't prepared her for this level of devastation. Sensor sweep complete, Captain, Lieutenant Raj Patel reported from his station, his voice tight with tension. No survivors detected. The colony's quantum signature beacon is intact but inactive. Temperature readings suggest the attack occurred approximately 72 hours ago. Sarah's jaw clenched. Hope's Landing had been home to over 3 million Centauri, one of the most advanced species humanity had encountered since achieving faster-than-light travel. The colony's defensive capabilities had been considered state-of-the-art. Now it was nothing but twisted metal and frozen corpses. Dr. Morrison, what are we looking at here? Sarah asked, turning to the ship's xenobiologist. The older woman was hunched over her station, her silver hair falling forward as she analyzed the data streaming across her screens. Something unprecedented, Captain, Morrison replied, her Scottish accent thicker with stress. The damage patterns don't match any known weapon signatures. It's as if. She hesitated, as if something literally consumed parts of the colony structure. The molecular breakdown is unlike anything I've ever seen. Commander David Torres, Sarah's first officer, stepped forward. Captain, we should notify Fleet Command immediately. Whatever did this could still be in the area. Before Sarah could respond, the ship's AI, Arya, spoke up. Captain, I'm detecting an anomalous energy signature approximately 300,000 kilometers off our port bow. It appears to be growing. The bridge crew watched in horror as space itself seemed to tear open, revealing a darkness deeper than the void between stars. From this wound in reality emerged a ship, if it could be called that. The vessel was organic and mechanical in equal measure, its surface rippling like muscle beneath metallic skin. All hands to battle stations, Sarah ordered, her voice steady despite the fear coursing through her veins. Raj, get me everything you can on that ship. Morrison, start recording. If we don't make it out of here, the fleet needs to know what they're dealing with. The alien vessel was massive, easily dwarfing the Magellan. As they watched, portions of its hull began to shift and reform, revealing what appeared to be weapon emplacements. Captain, Arya's voice was urgent, I'm detecting an energy buildup in the alien vessel. They appear to be scanning us. Suddenly, a voice filled the bridge, if it could be called a voice. It was a chorus of whispers and screams, mechanical and organic sounds merged into something that made the crew's skin crawl. Your species is unknown to us, the voice said. You will be categorized and consumed. Resistance is inefficient. Sarah's mind raced. They were outgunned and had no idea what they were dealing with, but she hadn't survived 2 decades in deep space by giving up when things looked impossible. This is Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth exploration vessel Magellan, she responded, buying time as she signaled Torres to begin emergency jump preparations. We mean you no harm and wish to establish peaceful contact. The alien response was immediate and chilling. Peace is irrelevant. All organic life serves to further our evolution. Your technological and biological distinctiveness will be analyzed and absorbed. Raj, Sarah whispered, tell me you've got something. The lieutenant's fingers flew across his console. Their energy readings are off the charts, Captain, but there's something strange. The ship's power signature is fluctuating in a regular pattern, almost like a heartbeat, Morrison finished, her eyes wide. They're not just using biological components, the ship itself is alive. Before Sarah could process this information, the alien vessel attacked. A beam of sickly green energy lanced out, narrowly missing the Magellan as Sarah barked out evasive maneuvers. The ship's engines roared to life, pushing the crew back in their seats as they desperately tried to avoid the next shot. Arya, begin recording ship-wide broadcast, Sarah ordered as they dove through the debris field. This is Captain Chen. If this message reaches Earth, be advised, we have encountered a hostile species of unknown origin. They appear to use biomechanical technology far beyond our current understanding. Hope's landing has been destroyed. The enemy. She paused as another blast rocked the ship. The enemy appears to consume both organic and technological materials from their victims. They must be stopped at all costs. Captain, Torres called out, emergency jump drive is charged. But we need at least 30 seconds clear of debris to safely initiate. Sarah nodded grimly. Raj, deploy the new quantum buoys. Let's see if our friends can handle a little human ingenuity. The lieutenant smiled despite the situation, launching a series of small devices that quickly disappeared into the debris field. Moments later, they activated, creating a complex web of quantum distortions that played havoc with the alien vessel's sensors. Jump drive spooling up, Arya announced. 20 seconds to activation. The alien ship paused its attack, seemingly confused by the quantum interference. Its surface rippled more violently as it tried to adapt to this new threat. 10 seconds, Arya continued. The alien vessel suddenly shifted, its entire form reorganizing as it prepared to launch what looked like organic missiles. 5 seconds. All hands brace for emergency jump, Sarah ordered, gripping her command chair. Jump initiated. The Magellan disappeared in a flash of light just as the alien weapons reached their position. As the ship entered jump space, Sarah knew they had survived only to deliver the most terrifying news humanity had ever received. They were no longer alone in the galaxy, and what awaited them was beyond their darkest nightmares. In the silence of jump space, Sarah accessed her personal log. First contact with an unknown species designated Void Hunters has been established. They represent a threat unlike anything humanity has encountered. We're going to need every ounce of human ingenuity and determination to survive what's coming. But if there's one thing I know about humanity, it's that we don't go down without a fight. Chin out. 3 months after the Magellan's encounter, humanity's worst fears materialized above New Eden, their most advanced colony world. The morning sky, usually painted with the soft purple hues of the planet's twin suns, turned black as dozens of Void Hunter vessels emerged from their dimensional rifts. Governor Marcus Rodriguez stood in the Colonial Defense Headquarters, watching holographic displays track the incoming threat. Around him, military personnel scrambled to coordinate the evacuation of 15 million civilians. His daughter Isabella, the colony's chief engineer, worked frantically at a nearby console. Orbital defense grid is at full power, Isabella reported, her dark eyes fixed on scrolling data. But these readings. Dad, their ships are already adapting to our shield frequencies. They're learning from every shot we take. Marcus had aged a decade in the weeks since receiving Captain Chen's warning. The Void Hunters had systematically destroyed 3 smaller colonies before reaching New Eden, each attack revealing more of their terrifying capabilities. Earth fleet was still 12 hours away at maximum speed. Status of the underground shelters? Marcus asked, maintaining his composure despite the chaos. 80% of civilians accounted for, Colonel James Wright answered, his cybernetic eye glowing as it processed tactical data. The mining tunnels are proving useful for something besides extracting quantum crystals. The building shook as the first Void Hunter ships engaged the orbital defense platforms. Through the reinforced windows, Marcus watched pieces of the defensive satellites rain down like falling stars. They're targeting our communication arrays, Isabella warned. Trying to isolate us from the rest of the colony network. Marcus nodded grimly. Just like Hope's landing. Colonel, execute Protocol Omega. Wright's organic eye widened. Sir, that's untested technology. The quantum resonators could destabilize the entire planetary crust. Better the planet than our people, Marcus replied. Isabella? His daughter was already moving. The resonators were my project, Colonel. Trust me, they'll work. As Isabella rushed from the room, Marcus activated the colony-wide emergency broadcast system. Citizens of New Eden, this is Governor Rodriguez. Our orbital defenses have engaged the enemy. Remain in your designated shelters. Remember your training. We are not helpless, and we are not afraid. The words had barely left his mouth when the first Void Hunter ground forces appeared in the streets. They were nightmarish amalgamations of organic and mechanical parts, their bodies constantly shifting and adapting. Standard weapons seemed to bounce off their liquid metal skin. Colonial Defense Forces, engage Protocol Sigma, Wright ordered through his tactical network. Immediately, the streets erupted with specialized electromagnetic pulse weapons, the only technology known to temporarily disrupt Void Hunter biomechanical systems. But the aliens were learning, adapting. Each pulse seemed less effective than the last. They moved through the city with terrifying efficiency, absorbing technology and organic matter alike into their ever-growing mass. In the command center, Marcus watched the tactical displays with growing horror. How long until the resonators are ready? Isabella reports 5 minutes to full charge, Wright responded. Sir, we're losing ground in sectors 7 through 12. The civilian bunkers there. Marcus closed his eyes briefly. Order all remaining forces to fall back to the inner defense ring. We hold them there or nowhere. Suddenly, the command center's main screen crackled to life. The same horrifying chorus of voices that had haunted Captain Chen's recordings filled the room. Your resistance is noted. Your adaptability is impressive. You will be thoroughly analyzed before consumption. Marcus stepped forward, his voice steady. We're not your lab rats, and we're not your food. We're human beings, and we do not submit. The response was immediate. Submission is irrelevant. Your species' determination will be added to our own. Your biological and technological distinctiveness will enhance our perfection. Before Marcus could respond, Isabella's voice came through on a secure channel. Dad, resonators at 90%. But there's a problem, someone needs to manually activate the quantum core. The automation systems are down. Marcus looked at Colonel Wright, who nodded in understanding. Get to the backup command center, Marcus ordered. I'll handle the core. As he rushed through the underground tunnels toward the quantum core, Marcus witnessed humanity's desperate resistance firsthand. Colonial militia fought alongside professional soldiers, using everything from electromagnetic weapons to improvised explosives. In one corridor, he saw a group of miners using modified drilling equipment to tear apart a Void Hunter warrior, proving that even their adaptive armor had limits. Finally, he reached the core chamber. Isabella's voice crackled through his communicator. Resonators at full power. Dad, you need to synchronize the quantum frequencies exactly or the whole system will collapse. Marcus worked quickly, his fingers dancing across the control panel as he input the complex sequence of commands. Above him, through layers of rock and steel, he could hear the sounds of battle growing closer. Isabella, he said, his voice soft but clear, I love you. Tell Earth, tell them New Eden showed them how to hurt these bastards. Dad, no. There's still time to dash. Marcus pressed the final sequence. The quantum core hummed to life, its energy synchronized with the resonators planted throughout the colony. The effect was instantaneous. Reality itself seemed to shudder as quantum waves rippled through spacetime, creating a cascading disruption that tore through the Void Hunter's biomechanical systems. From orbit, the sight was spectacular. Waves of quantum energy pulsed across New Eden's surface, shredding the Void Hunter ground forces and creating devastating feedback loops in their ships. Many of the larger vessels literally tore themselves apart, their adaptive systems unable to cope with the fundamental disruption of spacetime itself. But the victory came at a terrible cost. The quantum cascade also destroyed much of the colony's infrastructure, and the aftershocks would make large portions of the planet uninhabitable for decades. Yet as the surviving colonists emerged from their shelters, they knew they had achieved something unprecedented. They had shown that the Void Hunters could be hurt, could be stopped. When Earth fleet arrived hours later, they found a devastated world but an unbroken people. The wreckage of Void Hunter ships provided invaluable intelligence, and the quantum resonator technology, though costly to use, offered humanity its first real weapon against the threat. In the ruins of the Colonial Defense Headquarters, rescue teams found a final message from Governor Rodriguez, recorded moments before the quantum cascade: "Remember New Eden not for its fall, but for its defiance. We have proven that humanity's greatest strength lies not in our technology or our weapons, but in our unwillingness to submit, our ability to adapt, and our determination to survive." The Void Hunters thought they found easy prey. Instead, they found humanity. 6 months after the Battle of New Eden, the Earth science vessel Prometheus drifted through an uncharted asteroid field near the galactic core. Dr. Elena Santos, the ship's lead xenoarchaeologist, studied readings that defied conventional explanation. "Captain Reed," she called out, "these energy signatures, they're deliberately masked. Someone's hiding out here." Captain Michael Reed, a veteran of the New Eden evacuation, moved to her station. The asteroid field shouldn't have contained anything but rock and ice, yet their sensors detected faint power fluctuations emanating from the larger bodies. "Multiple contacts." Lieutenant Amy Chen shouted from tactical. "Ships emerging from inside the asteroids." The bridge crew watched in amazement as sections of what they thought were ordinary space rocks shifted and opened, revealing sophisticated hangar bays. Sleek vessels of unknown design emerged, their hulls shimmering with some form of stealth technology. "Captain," the ship's AI reported, "we're being scanned. The technology appears similar to but distinct from Void Hunter protocols." Reed made a quick decision. "Open all frequencies. This is Captain Michael Reed of the Earth vessel Prometheus. We mean you no harm. We're seeking allies against the Void Hunters." For several tense moments, there was no response. Then a holographic image materialized on the bridge, a tall, ethereal being with crystalline features and eyes that seemed to contain swirling galaxies. "I am First Speaker Lyra of the Astari Remnant," the being said, its voice carrying harmonics that made the air itself vibrate. You fought them? And survived?" Reed nodded. "We lost colonies, but we bloodied them. New Eden showed us they're not invincible." The crystalline being's eyes pulsed with interest. "The quantum cascade event. We detected it, but couldn't believe. Please, join us in the haven. There are others you should meet." The Prometheus was escorted into one of the asteroid hangars, revealing an entire civilization hidden within the field. The asteroids were actually interconnected habitat structures, home to survivors from multiple species that had fled the Void Hunters' advance. In a vast chamber that served as the Haven's council room, representatives from 6 different species gathered. Besides the crystalline Astari, there were the serpentine Nyx who could manipulate gravitational fields, the insectoid Vex with their mastery of quantum computing, the energy-based Lumini, the biomechanical Forgeborn, and the ethereal Mists who existed partially in another dimension. "For centuries, we have hidden," First Speaker Lyra explained. "The Void Hunters destroyed our worlds, consumed our people. We believed resistance was futile, that survival meant remaining hidden. But you humans," a Nyx representative named Sithtal interjected, his coils shifting with excitement, "you not only fought back but found a way to harm them. Our sensors recorded everything at New Eden. The quantum resonance technology, brilliant, if brutal." Dr. Santos stepped forward. "With respect, hiding clearly isn't working. The Void Hunters are expanding their territory. Eventually, they'll find this place." "The human speaks truth," rumbled Kvor, a Forgeborn leader whose mechanical parts hummed with energy. "Our latest data suggests they're developing countermeasures to our stealth technology. They learn, they adapt, they evolve. Then we must evolve faster," Reed stated firmly. "Look at what we have here," the greatest minds and technologies of 7 species. Apart, we're all vulnerable. Together. A Lumini representative named Zara pulsed with agreement, her energy form brightening. The human's logic is sound. Each of our species developed different methods of fighting or evading the Void Hunters. Combined, we could do more than survive, first speaker Lyra finished. We could win. The next several hours were spent sharing technology and tactics. The human's quantum resonators could be enhanced by Nick's gravitational manipulation. Vex quantum computing could predict Void Hunter adaptation patterns. Lumini energy manipulation could power weapons capable of disrupting the enemy's biomechanical systems. But it was Dr. Santos who made the breakthrough. Studying ancient Astari records, she discovered something shocking. The Void Hunters weren't originally a singular species, she explained to the gathered council. They're an artificial hybrid, created by an ancient civilization that wanted to transcend the limitations of organic life. That explains their obsession with consuming and adapting other species' traits, Reed mused. They're trying to achieve some sort of twisted perfection. More importantly, Santos continued, it means they have a core programming, a basic drive that can't be adapted away. If we can identify it, we can exploit it, Kfor finished, his mechanical eyes whirring with calculation. The council chamber erupted in excited discussion as the implications became clear. For the first time, they weren't just planning to survive, they were planning to win. First speaker Lyra raised her crystalline hands for silence. For too long, we have lived in fear. But these humans have shown us another way. They've proven that determination and innovation can overcome even the most devastating enemy. The question, Sithtal hissed thoughtfully, is whether we have the courage to emerge from hiding and fight alongside them. One by one, the representatives signaled their agreement. The Astari would provide their stealth technology and ancient knowledge. The Nyx offered their gravitational weapons. The Vex pledged their quantum computing networks. The Lumini promised their energy manipulation abilities. The Forgeborn would share their biomechanical expertise, and the Mists their dimensional phasing technology. As the newly formed alliance crafted their plans, Reed received an urgent communication from Earth. The Void Hunters had launched a major offensive, pushing toward the Sol system itself. They now had a deadline. We'll need to work fast, Reed announced to the council. Earth can hold them off for a while, but then we work fast, first speaker Lyra declared. The time for hiding is over. The Void Hunters believed they were creating a perfect species by consuming others. Instead, they've united us against them. Let them learn what true adaptation means. In the Haven's vast dock, ships from 7 species began preparing for war. Human ingenuity, Astari wisdom, Nyx power, Vex intelligence, Lumini energy, Forgeborn strength, and Mist subtlety would combine into something unprecedented. The Hunters were about to become the hunted. Deep within the Haven's Strategic Command Center, Captain Reed stood before a holographic display showing the combined Alliance fleet. Human warships bristled with quantum resonators alongside sleek Astari vessels. Nyx gravitational cruisers floated beside Forgeborn battle platforms. Lumini energy ships pulsed in formation with Vex quantum carriers, while Mist vessels phased in and out of normal space. Latest intelligence confirms the Void Hunter fleet is 20 hours from Earth's outer defense perimeter, Admiral Sarah Chen reported via quantum link. The former captain of the Magellan now commanded Earth's home defense forces. Our orbital platforms are ready, but we'll need that diversion. Understood, Admiral, Reed responded. Operation Nightfall commences in 6 hours. Give us time to bloody them, then hit them with everything you've got. First speaker Lyra's crystalline form shimmered as she studied the tactical display. The Void Hunters have never faced a coordinated attack from multiple species. Their adaptation protocols will be overwhelmed. Dar. Santos approached with the final analysis from her research team. We've identified their core programming. The Void Hunters are driven by an imperative to achieve perfection through consumption and adaptation. They literally cannot ignore new biological or technological traits. Then we give them something irresistible to chase, Kvor rumbled, his mechanical parts humming with anticipation. The plan was audacious. While Earth's forces drew the main Void Hunter fleet into a confrontation, the Alliance would strike at their primary bioforge, the massive facility where they processed consumed materials and created new warriors. The assault force gathered in the launching bay. Reed commanded the human contingent from the upgraded Prometheus. Dr. Santos had modified the ship's sensors to detect weaknesses in Void Hunter biomechanical systems, while Vex quantum computers predicted their adaptation patterns. All ships, final checks, Reed ordered. Commence Operation Nightfall on my mark. The fleet moved out, using combined Astari and Mist technology to remain undetected. They approached the massive bioforge, a horrifying structure of twisted metal and pulsing organic matter that stretched for kilometers through space. By the cosmic harmony, Lyra whispered, the scale of it. Life signs detected, Santos reported grimly. Millions of them. Different species, being broken down and recombined. Reed's jaw clenched. Not for much longer. All ships, battle positions. Execute primary phase. The Alliance fleet decloaked simultaneously. Before the Bioforge's defenses could react, Nick's gravitational weapons created localized singularities that tore through its outer layers. Lumini energy beams followed, disrupting the facility's biomechanical systems. Multiple hostile contacts. Lieutenant Chen called out. Void Hunter ships emerging from dimensional rifts. The space around the bioforge erupted in chaos. Void Hunter vessels, their surfaces writhing with adaptive armor, engaged the Alliance fleet. But for the first time, they faced enemies who understood their weaknesses. Human quantum resonators, enhanced by Nick's gravitational fields, created devastating feedback loops in their biomechanical systems. Vex quantum computers predicted their adaptation patterns, allowing Forgeborn weapons to strike before they could evolve new defenses. Mist ships phased through their attacks, delivering devastating strikes from dimensional blind spots. They're responding exactly as predicted, Santos reported. Their adaptation protocols are trying to analyze and counter multiple unknown technologies simultaneously. Reed watched as the Void Hunter's legendary ability to adapt became their weakness. Their ships began to malfunction as conflicting adaptations tore them apart from within. Some simply exploded, while others drifted powerless in space. Bioforge's primary defenses are down, Kvor announced. Beginning Phase 2. Strike teams of humans, Forgeborn, and Mist warriors boarded the facility. They fought through corridors of horror, witnessing firsthand the fate of countless species who had fallen to the Void Hunters. But the combined technologies of the Alliance proved superior to the Hunters' adaptations. The facility's central core was a massive organic computer, pulsing with stolen life energy. Dr. Santos, protected by Forgeborn warriors, interfaced with the system while Mist operatives kept enemy reinforcements at bay. Uploading the virus, she reported. The code, a joint creation of human and Vex programmers, was designed to corrupt the Void Hunter's core programming. Transmission complete in 3, 2, 1. The effect was immediate and devastating. Throughout the Bioforge, Void Hunter systems began to break down as their fundamental drive to achieve perfection turned in on itself. The virus spread through their network, carried by their own adaptive protocols. All teams, fall back, Reed ordered. Prepare for final phase. As Alliance forces withdrew, Lumini energy ships moved into position. They channeled massive amounts of power into the facility's already destabilized systems. The Bioforge began to break apart, its massive bulk tearing itself to pieces. Admiral Chen, Reed transmitted, Bioforge is neutralized. Launch your counterattack. Back at Earth, the human fleet struck with everything they had. The Void Hunters, their adaptive abilities compromised by the virus and their reinforcement capability destroyed with the Bioforge, began to fall. Multiple Void Hunter ships self-destructing, Chen reported, her voice tight with controlled excitement. Others are retreating through dimensional rifts. They're running. In the Haven's command center, the Alliance leaders watched as centuries of Void Hunter dominance began to crumble. First speaker Lyra turned to read, her crystalline features reflecting the light of distant explosions. "This is only the beginning," she said. "They will try to adapt, to overcome this defeat." Reed nodded grimly. "Let them try. They'll find that true strength doesn't come from consuming others, but from standing together. Humanity has proven that, and now the Alliance has proven it again." As the remains of the Bioforge drifted in space, a new era was dawning. The Void Hunters had sought to create the perfect species through force and consumption. Instead, they had united the galaxy's survivors into something far more powerful, a true alliance of equals, each bringing their own strengths to create something greater than the sum of its parts. 1 year after Operation Nightfall, Earth's orbital defense platform, Unity, hosted an unprecedented gathering. Representatives from every Alliance species converged to discuss the future of their coalition. The Void Hunters, while not defeated entirely, had been driven back to the galactic fringe. Captain Michael Reed, now Admiral Reed, stood at the observation deck watching ships from 7 different species patrol in perfect formation. Dr. Elena Santos joined him, her research team's findings about the Void Hunters now forming the cornerstone of the Alliance's scientific database. "The latest reports are encouraging," she said, passing him a data tablet. "The virus continues to spread through their network. Any Void Hunter ship that tries to adapt or consume new technology becomes infected. They're being forced to isolate themselves, to stop evolving." "Poetic justice," Reed mused. "Their drive for perfection has become their prison." The observation deck's doors slid open as first speaker Lyra entered, her crystalline form now adorned with marks of honor from all Alliance species. Behind her came Kvor, Sith Tau, and representatives from the Lumini, Vex, and Mists. "The Council is ready," Lyra announced. "It's time." In the Grand Chamber of Unity Station, thousands of beings gathered. Admiral Sarah Chen, her uniform bearing the scars of countless battles, took the podium first. "1 year ago, humanity stood alone against what we thought was an invincible enemy. Today, we stand with friends and allies who have proven that the greatest strength lies not in consuming others, but in working together." The chamber erupted in a cacophony of approval, human applause mixing with Astari crystal songs, Nyx vibrations, and the various expressions of joy from other species. "But our work is not finished," Chen continued. "The Void Hunters taught us a valuable lesson. The galaxy is vast and full of dangers. We must remain united, not just in war, but in peace." First speaker Lyra stepped forward, her crystalline voice resonating through the chamber. "For too long, my people hid in the shadows, believing survival was the best we could hope for. Humanity showed us another way. They proved that courage and innovation, combined with unity and determination, can overcome any obstacle." Kvor's mechanical parts hummed with agreement. The Forgeborn once believed that technological perfection was the ultimate goal. The humans taught us that imperfection, the drive to improve, to adapt, to overcome, is what truly makes a species strong. One by one, representatives from each species spoke, each acknowledging how the Alliance had changed them. The Nyx had learned to use their gravitational powers for creation as well as destruction. The Vex had discovered that quantum computing could not replace organic intuition but could enhance it. The Lumini found that their energy manipulation abilities grew stronger when working in concert with others. Dr. Santos presented her findings on the Void Hunters' origins. They were created to be the perfect species, but their creators forgot something fundamental. True perfection isn't about being the strongest or most advanced. It's about balance, cooperation, and the willingness to learn from others. As she spoke, The station's holographic displays showed the Alliance's accomplishments over the past year. New colonies established together, sharing technology and resources. Joint scientific missions exploring the galaxy. Combined defense forces protecting trading routes and responding to natural disasters. The Void Hunters thought they could achieve perfection by consuming other species, Reed addressed the assembly. Instead, they brought us together and taught us that our differences are our strength. Each species brings unique abilities, perspectives, and solutions to our alliance. The chamber's main screen displayed a real-time map of known space. The areas once dominated by Void Hunters were now filled with symbols of cooperation, joint colonies, research stations, and defense installations. Today, Chen announced, we formalize what began in necessity. The Alliance of United Species is no longer just a military coalition. It is now a permanent federation, dedicated to mutual defense, scientific advancement, and cultural exchange. The signing ceremony that followed was broadcast across all allied worlds. Humans, Astari, Nyx, Vex, Lumini, Forgeborn, and Mists, each adding their mark to a historic document that would shape the galaxy's future. Later, as celebrations continued throughout the station, Reed found himself back at the observation deck. Santos joined him, carrying 2 glasses of Earth wine. "Penny for your thoughts, Admiral," she asked, handing him a glass. Reed smiled, watching an Astari crystal ship dance in formation with human cruisers while Lumini energy vessels created spectacular light shows against the backdrop of space. "I'm thinking about how far we've come," he replied. "When the Magellan first encountered the Void Hunters, we thought it was the beginning of the end. Instead, it was just the beginning. The beginning of something better," Santos agreed. "You know, the Void Hunters' original programming was to create the perfect species. In a way, they succeeded, just not how they intended." Reed nodded, understanding. The Alliance wasn't a single perfect species, but something greater, a perfect union of different species, each maintaining their uniqueness while working together for the common good. As if to emphasize the point, a Void Hunter ship appeared at the edge of the system. But instead of attacking, it simply observed for a moment before disappearing back into dimensional space. Their greatest enemies had become witnesses to their success. To the Alliance, Reed raised his glass. And to the reminder that humanity's greatest strength isn't in our technology or our weapons, but in our ability to bring people together, to face impossible odds, and to build something better than we could ever achieve alone. To the Alliance, Santos echoed, as above them, the combined fleet of 7 species continued their patrol, guardians of a new era of peace, cooperation, and unlimited potential.